Mr. Speaker, the opposition supports the objective of giving necessary legislative backing to the fight against crime and violence. However, we believe that these bills don't take us very far down that road. And indeed, the passage of these bills in their present form could contribute to the long-term alienation of our inner-city youth and communities from the police and the wider law enforcement community. Mr. Speaker, legislation is only a tool, and its effectiveness can be limited by the determination or the sincerity of the administration that is implementing the legislation. I was relieved to hear this afternoon the Minister of Mining say that the government has now decided to cooperate fully with the Contractor General for the divestment. You didn't say it, but there was a letter. No. But you said the government is now going to fully cooperate. Did you not say the government will fully cooperate with the Contractor General? You'll only cooperate. Mr. Speaker, the Contractor General circulated reams of correspondence, which up to this morning suggested that the government, in fact, it had an opinion from the Attorney General or the Solicitor General's department saying that the Contractor General did not have jurisdiction over this matter. Now, that's a powerful act we have, the Contractor General's Act. We have a zealous individual in the role of Contractor General, but yet we had, up to this morning, the government apparently resisting his legitimate efforts to investigate this divestment. Does a letter from the Permanent Secretary represent the government? Does an opinion from the Solicitor General's department have the authority of the government?
Mr. Bunting, ignore the interruptions.
Mr. Speaker, it left a lot for us to speculate about. Mr. Speaker, we hope that the government will consider our recommendations and that we can arrive at some compromise legislation. In fact, it would be best if some of these pieces we might exclude altogether. We hope that we can arrive at legislation, Mr. Speaker, which better balances the need to empower law enforcement with protecting individual rights and freedoms. We hope we will arrive at legislation which avoids taking Jamaica close to becoming a police state, in which poor, mostly black young men are disproportionately affected by the exercise of these new powers of the state. We hope we can arrive at amended legislation which takes the fight to criminals but avoids making the police into the enemy of the public. And finally, Mr. Speaker, I remind the government of those perhaps more important pieces of legislation, those necessary to establish a new police management authority, a recommendation of the opposition which their government accepted 18 months ago. That process is still moving at a glacial pace. Glacial pace through the system, even though its implementation is much more fundamental and strategically important to the fight against crime. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.